What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Captain Marvel out now in theaters. New movie from the MCU. This time taking place in the 90s. So overall I enjoyed this movie, but it had that little layer of 90s nostalgia kind of just dripped all over it, where you had the soundtrack was very 90s, like alternative, and then maybe there was a little bit maybe a little dash of hip hop, because there was the black character, and when they went to go see the black character, she was playing like Salt and Pepper or something like that. Because even though it's Disney, still gotta. But anyway, tons of fun. 90s references. Blockbuster gets demolished, which is amazing. I used to work at a Blockbuster, got held up at gunpoint. The very first thing the manager, the owner of the Blockbuster, asked when our manager called him to let him know that two of his employees were just held at gunpoint, one of which was on his knees with the gun pressed to the back of his head to open the safe. The first thing that motherfucker asked was, what did they take? So fuck Blockbuster, and I'm glad that they're dead, and it was amazing to see them smashed again in this movie. They are now a joke, which I am very happy for. But yeah, it's a movie full of references that don't really mean anything to the overall storytelling, unlike some superhero movies. If you don't get the references, then good luck following along. This one didn't have a ton of baggage. It's, because it takes place in the 90s, it's kind of a prequel, an origin story for Captain Marvel, as well as Nick Fury, which was kind of nice. So Captain Marvel crash lands, or Brie Larson, or what's her name? Carol Devers, something like that. She crashes into Earth, and she's on a mission to try and find. I actually don't even remember what she. There's like two aliens. So anyway, let me go back. She's like a pilot, because this movie jumps around a little bit. You jump into dreams a little bit. Overall, great. Just visually a great movie, but also a really fun movie. But so she's like a pilot, and then this thing happens where she's doing this secret test thing with Annette Bening's character, and shit goes down. They get attacked, and during the attack, she decides she thinks that they're after the engine of the plane. So she decides to shoot the engine, and it explodes, and it's kind of like a Hulk moment where this huge energy transfers into her, which is an amazing looking scene in the movie when that happens. Kind of like towards the middle of the movie. Spoilers, by the way, even though I'm not very specific with what I'm talking about. But that scene where the Hulk scene where she becomes the Hulk, well, the Captain Marvel version of the Hulk is super gorgeous, slow-mo, kind of their money shot scene. And so then she gets these powers, and she's taken, the person that she was trying to keep from getting this engine, she was taken by them, who are aliens that look human. Sorry, I don't know the name of these people. And she's taught, like Neo, how to use her new powers. And they implanted a little limiter on her neck that keeps her from, because she can't handle it, because she's just a girl, okay? Oh, little old me, all right? Just like No Doubt. So because she's a girl and she can't handle all the big manly powers, they put a limiter on her neck that keeps her in check, keeps her in line, letting her know who's in charge and who cleans the kitchen. So this whole like Neo kind of thing where she's learning kung fu, and then she goes on this mission to, I think she's trying to kill these alien things, which are like the ball sack people, and they can morph into anybody. So there's a really fun fight scene where she's chasing one of these ball sack people, and she gets into the subway, and of course she sees in the eyes of a granny that she's one of those ball sack people deep down. And there's a really fun granny ball sack person fight. Well, the ball sack person isn't there. It's a granny fighting in a subway or a elevated train. That's also where you get probably the last cameo we'll ever see of Stan Lee. He was apparently reading the Mallrats script, which Kevin Smith posted a picture of, which Kevin Smith has lost all the weight and, kind of thanked them for kind of referencing him in a movie when he spent his whole life referencing movies. To see, a comic book movie reference Kevin Smith script and movie, like it's Stan Lee reading the script. So a lot of really cool little Easter eggs that you don't need to know for the story to make sense. But we're also, it flavored it nice. It's nice little seasoning. Here's some little garlic salt with a Stan Lee reading a Mallrats script. But yeah, in her battle to try and fight the ballsack people, she realized that maybe the ballsack people aren't the real problem and the other people are the problem. And so, then it goes, oh no, now she's switched sides and now she's against these other people. So it's a fun movie overall. They're all trying to get the Tesseract, right? Because that's the whole thing in all these movies. Like the Tesseract, it's very important. And I don't even remember what the Tesseract's for. I need to go through and rewatch all the Marvel movies. I don't know if I have to watch all of the Marvel movies or if there's just a select lineage of movies that will get me through the overall plot and storyline. But there are some aspects of the whole MCU that I watch so many movies. It's hard to remember what the fuck this little glowing box is used for. But this movie made me excited to go potentially think about watching all of the Marvel movies, which is, a good thing for a movie to do, to inspire me to want to, catch up and understand what the glowing box is for. The unobtainium, as it were, for this franchise. But yeah, it's cool. And it's also, you get the origin story of Nick Fury. You get to see why he has the eye patch, which, isn't very, they kind of like reference the fact because it starts out, he doesn't have the eye patch. He's got both eyes and he looks young. Clark Gregg looks pretty much the same. I don't know if they de-aged him at all because he doesn't look that old. I mean, do what you got to do with digital effects, I guess. But so you get to see him. You get to see why he wears the eye patch, which is kind of funny, kind of whatever. The cat Goose, which I don't. That's another thing. Along with the glowing cube, I don't know if this cat has shown up in other of the franchise, but it has a very amazing ability. Let's say. Where maybe it's not a human cat or not an earthly cat. Or maybe the cat has a parasite. I don't really know the backstory of the cat. Maybe we'll get a separate spin-off origin story for Goose, the cat. But there's a moment where all of a sudden the cat is able to do a really crazy thing. And for me, it was out of nowhere. But the cat is definitely part of. There's a lot of humor in this movie, a lot of comedic moments, which they didn't feel out of place to me. It just kept it more light versus the Thor Ragnarok, where they took a boring character and just like, we're gonna make him witty and charming, and just like it's gonna be he's got a chuckle fest this whole time. It's like bullshit. So it seems like they're trying to inject all of their movies with as much like kind of comedic moments as possible, which this one kind of found a good balance for. I felt it didn't really feel overdone like Ragnarok, but the cat was part of a lot of the comedic moments and a little bit too much, I guess. I'm not a very big cat person in general, but a lot was made of this cat, and I don't recall this cat in any other movies. But then again, like I said, I need to go back and rewatch it because I just watched too many movies. But you should go watch this movie. It's amazing. See her turn into the female Superwoman, as it were. We'll see how she plays into the Endgame, Avengers Endgame, I think. But that's it. New episodes come out daily of this show. Subscribe on IGTV and everywhere podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Inspireddisorder.com for all of my work. At Ray Taylor for me. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out!